25 online profitable businesses, and a step-by-step guide on how to start them. He has over 2,000 published articles in various niches. Fiyin Ebemidayo also works part-time at W3A Work Without Wall Academy, an academy that assists individuals to learn various digital skills, of which he is a facilitator of the writing skill. Fiyin has assisted over 200 individuals to become writers. He has also helped several individuals on Upwork and to become better freelancers. He has earned over $40,000 on Upwork. He owns two websites, bremenconsolidate.com and bremenbooks.com. Fiyin currently works with Nebula Genomics in California. Is also a prime writer for lobbyfitness.com, healthline.com, migrantbody.com, Quora, madisonreserve.com, indiandermat.com, and many more.
Hello, sir. Good evening, Mr. Fee.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
All right. How was your day, sir?
Fine for now.
All right. I believe you are ready for us today, sir.
Yes, yes, I am. Good evening.
Okay. Before I disappear from the screen, can you just tell the people in less than 2 or 3 minutes why they should listen to your presentation, sir?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I believe there are individuals listening to me right now, and I'll try as much as possible to make myself audible and try to be as explanatory as possible. But basically, the discourse and it's possible you might have seen the flyer. The whole topic for today is just more of how to make it's tag secrets though, but it's how to make money as a freelancer monthly in Nigeria. So that's the main thing that we want to talk about. How to get started, what really or what it really is. A lot of people have been hearing freelancers or they know people that are freelancers, but what does it really entail? How does the business work and how can you survive in Nigeria as a freelancer? So that's what we just want to talk about.
All right, that's very great, sir. I think everyone wants to make million of Naira these days, and we should all be ready for you. I also have my pen with me, and I'll be making some jottings. So everyone, we will be having Mr. Fiyin Ebemidayo, also known as Bremen, to be taking us through the secret of making constant millions of Naira every month as a freelancer.
Okay, so good evening once again, and welcome to Insightpreneur 2021. And just as the host has kindly said, and I also had emphasized that we'll be talking about freelancing, what it entails, and the whole concept about it in Nigeria. So basically, you might have heard the word freelancing or freelancer, and it's quite a simple term. Just means you working for someone. It means you working on a contract basis with another person or an employee. But where it is interesting is that unlike the normal work in which we are used to in Nigeria, unlike the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 4 that we grew up knowing our parents doing and many teachers and others, freelancing is quite different. In that one, you get to work with just one person, either the federal government or a particular sole proprietor or whoever hires you as your boss, and then you have to work Monday to Friday or weekend basis in certain cases, and then you are paid on a salary basis at the end of the month. So that's a normal way. But when it comes to freelancing is okay. Now let me give you an example of individuals that work as manual laborers. Yeah, they are like manual freelancers also, in which when they are available, they make themselves available for people who want to hire them based on an hourly basis or short term basis. So if I have a site and then I need to clear the bush on that site, and then I move to an area in which I find manual laborers, and then I pick one of them. As at that time, we would have a short agreement in which, okay, I have two plots. I want you to clear them. It should take you maybe 2 days or 3 days. That short time, it works for me. And then Another day works for another person, another day works for another person. Basically, that's how it is. So the same concept also applies to freelancing. And then we might wonder why it's different, or why people are moving into it, unlike what we used to do before, what everyone grew up in. Now, shortly before COVID-19, before the pandemic and everything, a lot of companies, you definitely know how there was this job lost during COVID-19, and then you would hear that, oh, certain companies had to shut down, and then they had to fire their staffs, they had to send people away and stuff like that. But after doing that, they saw the need for their companies to still be in existence. They were not going to shut down totally, but they need people to work from their house, or they needed people to work from their homes. And so that is when there was a, how do I call it, a massive surge in the need for freelancers. And the truth is, from 2020 onwards, the need for freelancers would only keep on increasing. And so that is where we come into place, and that is how we get it. And you might wonder, okay, what's the ball game, or what's the identity behind this? Now, let's give an example. Let's say I want to hire you on a full-time basis. Normally, I would have to provide you with an office. It depends on your qualification. Some jobs will require me to give you a car. Um, some jobs I would have to pay you wardrobe allowance. I'll pay you different allowances depending on the rule of such countries that we are into. You get, or that we are living in Nigeria. If you have at least minimum of 4 children, sorry, maximum of 4 children, the federal government has to pay allowances for them, and some big companies also will have to pay allowances for those children. You get, now, let's say it's a female and then she's pregnant. During that time, maybe 2 months or a month before then, she takes leave. I have to pay her. After that, she takes maternity leave. I still have to pay her. You get, you are sick, I have to pay you. But then when COVID struck, and then companies started to see the identity or the truth about it, that there is actually a world in which you can hire people on short-term basis. You don't have to pay them any allowances. You don't have to get them a car. You don't have to give them an office. Some companies will hire you and then they have to provide laptop for you. When it comes to freelancing, they don't have to do all those things. When you are sick, they don't have to pay you. Okay, so they do prefer to hire freelancers now, and that is why there is a high surge or the need for more freelancers. But the question now is, okay, that's what freelancing is. I have to work with people. Hey, but I'm in Nigeria. How does that work? I basically stay in Nigeria, or I stay in Lagos, I stay this place, I stay that. That is what remote working means. And then it's called remote. Yeah, working from a person or a distant place that is not, could not be in the country in which your boss is, or could be very, very distant in terms of geographical location. And so that's the concept of remote working. You would have listened when the citation blah 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 was going on. There was talks about me being a facilitator in work without walls. Yeah, so that's the whole concept. Like, you are working without walls. You can just work in your room with someone who is in another country. You can work with in your room with someone who is in Lagos. You can work with someone in your room with someone in the United States of America. So you can work with anybody anyway, as long as you have the right tools and the right equipment. And that's what freelancing is. And that's why you see people nowadays, oftentimes you see them just maybe a youth or a young guy, or female also, always on the laptop, always pressing stuffs, and then, or if it's someone who is in an area in which power supply is terrible, you see he's always maybe switching on gen, he has to work, he's typing, he's always on his computer, and then you find older ones mistaking him or getting it wrong and ask, yeah, it's not that this person is already doing Yahoo. He's always on gen, oh, he's always doing this, he's always on his computer. Every time I'm seeing him, he's always on his phone pressing, because Such ones actually have to meet various deadlines set by the companies in which they are working for, and then they have to get paid, and they will be paid. Now, as Nigerians, we get paid in dollars, and then it's the real sweetness of the whole thing. Often, you see people that would bring out projects. They want to. Okay, let me give you an example. As a young person in Nigeria, of let's say you are educated and then you are an undergraduate, you would know that you write projects at a certain point in your life, maybe your final years, or say you're postgraduate and then you want to write thesis and stuff like that. Now we have individuals, could be female or male, that are not really skilled in writing of such things, and so they require the expertise of someone else who knows. Maybe they're even lost with referencing, they don't know how to bring a proper text together, they are finding it very difficult to handle their projects. So the same thing also occurs out there in the world, in which you have young ones, maybe abroad also, wanting to write projects, and then they come online and looking for people who can help them out. And out of their pocket money or out of their chicken change, they are offering you $100 or $200. Well, to them, it's not really big, it's not really much. But imagine you writing a project, for just $200, and then by the time you convert that $200 to Nigerian money, let's say you're using black market rates, or let's just use 500, not use the 560 or whatever. Even if we use 400, now that's $200 multiplied by 400 naira, and that's around 80,000 naira. And so the whole project and blah 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 that you would do, it depends on the knowledge or the depth of what is required and what you are presented with. You could finish it in a weekend, Friday to Sunday. Guys do it. And so on Monday, you are receiving an alert of 80,000 naira. And that's the real concept that we are preaching out to people out there about freelancing. That it's a different ball game out there. If you're if you are a graduate and then you don't have any job, it is not an end. Keep moving up and down, presenting your certificate. You want to get hired in a company that wants to pay you 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, depending on where you're staying. You have companies or you have people who have graduates, good degrees, and then you see them, they want to be paid. They are going to be offered 30,000, 40,000 naira. And then they have to work around. Let me use this analogy of someone who has maybe a first class or a second class up herself. Um Mathematics, and then he wants to be a school teacher, or he has looked for employment up and down, and then he has to be a school teacher. And so the school in which he's writing the proposal to, or has submitted his resume and CV, they are now inviting him and offering him around 50,000 or 60,000. Now I'm saying in places that are not Lagos, because fine, certain schools pay very, very high. But in certain places, where I stay, 60,000 is even too massive for a lot of schools, and then they pay way, way, way less. But now that 60,000, let's put a salary cap of 70,000 naira. Fine, is even offered to him. He needs to leave his office or his home. Sorry, not office. He needs to leave his home a little after 7, so that he can get to school, and they do this register thing, and then he signs register. He has to be on the assembly by 8. Now he works from that 8 till most schools close by 4, but he doesn't leave after by that 4. He still has to hang around, and maybe he's leaving by 5. Now, or he's getting home by 5. He's not staying in Lagos, so we're not talking about traffic here. Now he gets home, he's not done. He has loads of assignments he needs to mark, and then he has to mark them, or maybe they are even did tests, and then he has to mark those tests. So he's working basically from around 7 to 6, 8, 6, 7. And then, oh, he needs to write lesson note again that has to be signed or whatever. So he's basically going to work around 12, 15 hours of his life every day. That's on average. And then for person teaching mathematics, he also has to go on Saturdays and maybe sometimes on Sundays, because he needs to finish the syllabus. Now I believe you can get the whole picture I'm trying to paint. And then at the end of the month, he's being paid 70,000. Probably he's not married, but out of that 70,000, he needs to buy clothes to wear again. And that's the ball game, or that's the reality in which individuals or young people are living in today's world. And then they have to just live that life. And then there's an alternate reality. There's an alternate life in which you have someone way younger than you, and then he's just on his computer, and then he's writing stuffs. Basically, I am in writing, so I could talk more of writing. He's writing stuffs, and then in a day or two or three, or in a week, he's making 100,000. While you are spending your whole life or your whole hours, you still beat those kids, you shout, they'll come and meet you, uncle, someone did this, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to dress well again. Obviously, you have to dress well. You're in tie, you're this, you're that, you have to wash those clothes, blah, blah, blah. And then I paid 70,000. But someone is there with his laptop sitting down, and then he's going to be earning around 100,000 in a week, which is very, very possible. And I'll explain why it is very, very possible. So the idea of freelancing that we're preaching to individuals now is that try as much as possible when you're available and learn a digital skill. Learn a digital skill. That digital skill is what would help you to be able to market yourself out there. Now, if you don't have a digital skill, fine. Make sure that you have a certificate that is relevant and professional enough. I would explain from the two sides, the digital skill perspective and then the certificate perspective. Now, let's use the digital skill perspective. There are different types of digital skills you can learn. You have writing. Writing is one. You could be a graphics designer. You could be a front end developer, a back end developer, a full stack developer. You could be a web developer. You see, there are various skills on the internet that you can pay and learn. And that, you see, Nigerians have this issue of not wanting to pay and having, or now someone can go to school, he pays school fees, pays salary, pays all those ones, buys handout and all these things. 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. But when it comes to digital skills, they are way more expensive. Okay, I'm talking about people who went to public schools, maybe schools like OAU and stuff. They may be more expensive when you compare to your school fees, but they are actually more worth it than what you pay for in school. Now, if you're on Twitter very well, you would see various ads in which you see people asking for backend developers or full stack developers or someone who has skills in Python or in Java or HTML or whatever they call it for coding, and then they're telling you that the salary is $3,000 per month. Now, if you ask yourself if you want to convert $3,000 per month, let's just use 400 naira, that's 1.2 million per month. And then you see that guy is always with his computer, he's always with Jen, he works on his laptop. He definitely won't eat LD sha. That's the normal thing for freelancers. You eat chunks and all those stuff, buy food up and down. But that's the life in which people are actually living. And then you might start mixing them with Yahoo boys by the time they start spending the dollars that they are earning. Now, if you might not be the one that coding is difficult for me. I cannot learn Python, no, blah blah blah. And you see, when you want to imagine a job that you would do, maybe a back end developer, a front end developer, and then by the time you are earning a salary of around $2,000, $3,000 per client that you're working with. It could be less. Let's say even it's $500. Maybe you are just to run a maintenance for a website or whatever your price cap is. And then you could have two, three, four clients at the same time. So it's possible in a world in Nigeria in which you have someone earning up to $10,000 per month. It's very possible we have people doing it. And so that's the world. But by the time he's going to learn that particular digital skill, that's where I'm trying to preach to you now. By the time he's learning that digital skill, he's not going to learn it for free. People who teach those digital skills don't teach them for free. They are quite expensive. And so there's a big, huge mistake that people make. They go into freelancing without digital skills. And then what do I mean by they go into freelancing without digital skills? You'd have heard of platforms such as Upwork, Fiverr, Paper Hour, People Power. There are different ones. There's Freelancer, there's Freelancer. There are different ones, but often the top two is Upwork and Fiverr. You need a digital skill to be relevant on that platform. But you see people out there in today's world, they just open Upwork account for people. Like, oh, do you want an Upwork account? Just come and open. I don't open Upwork accounts for people at all. It's you can do it yourself. But you see people open Upwork account and then fine, you've opened it. And the reality about Upwork is it's a marketplace. Now, it's just like you go to a market, you are there for two things. Either you are selling or you are buying. That's what the market is for. It's so straightforward. So if you are selling, you need a product. You need something people would actually be ready to pay money for. Same principle applies on Upwork. Is that you are there with a digital skill that they want to actually hire you for, or you are the one paying to that person, you are paying that person to use that person's digital skill. So if you are now on Upwork, they've helped you to open the account, you are going to okay, you want to send proposals. The question is, what am I marketing about myself to these people? Which skills do I have? What things do I know? What am I going to be telling them that, oh, this is my own skill, oh, I am this, I am that, I am me. By the time you don't have that skill, okay, maybe you just form something, I can do this, I can do that. And then you send it out and then you are paid or you are hired. Because you don't have that digital skill, you then need to start looking for someone that has that digital skill. And that person might even spoil your work, and then you get bad reviews, and within two, three, four reviews, people are already complaining about you. They are giving you bad reviews, 2 star, 1 star, 3 star, because you made the simple mistake from the onset of not learning any digital skill. So that's the point about if you are going to become a freelancer. It's not compulsory you learn coding, Python or anything, but you can also learn writing. And then because you write love poems, you write maybe you write blogs for your press club, or maybe your faculty, you write for your board or whatever. It's a different ball game when it comes to professional writing. And then professional writing is the moment you are going to be paid. There are different requirements, there are different skills, there are things they want to see in you. And so if you are not going to be giving them those skills, you later have problems. So it is also important for you not just to sit down and say, oh, I like writing, oh, let me just try it. No, you also have to learn it. And fine, okay, writing is not your thing. You could learn graphics designing. And now, the real competition out there is you are learning graphics designing, not that you want to learn just to create maybe logo or flyer or anything. When it comes to the competitive world out there, people who actually pay, people who are ready to give you money, companies are ready to hire you, they are looking for the touch of professionalism in you. So that is why as you need to go extra mile to learn any digital skill that you want to learn. If it is copywriting, look for quality academies or anything that teach copywriting, and pay to learn them. Pay and learn those skills, because by the time you are going to be seeing the results, they are very, very sumptuous. Freelancing is dope. Now that's on one side. I said I'll talk about the other side. If you do not have the freelancing skill or the digital skill, try and get a certificate. Now you might wonder, what certificate am I talking about? I'm talking about the school certificates. There are certain certificates that are very, very marketable online. An example is the BNS certificate. Nursing is very, very profitable online. Medicine is also profitable online. If you're a medical doctor, it's very profitable. And then the engineering fields. Now, we have companies, as I said earlier, if you've been following me from the onset, COVID-19 changed a lot of dynamics in the world sector, work sector. There was a shift in how things were done, and it's still in existence now. Now, during COVID 19, certain companies needed doctors or certain, but okay, let me explain it this way. People started building startups. Now, they were not just building startups for start building sake, they built startups for a very good reason. Now, in the medical aspect of it, there's something called primary health care, home services. Now, currently, I'm having headache, and so I need to see a doctor, but I cannot leave my house because of COVID 19. But I'm explaining like back then, I could not leave my house because of COVID 19, but I still needed to see a doctor. The hospitals. So, how was I going to see a doctor? Who is going to write prescriptions for me? It's not just like Nigeria that you can just go and then start. I had a deco. They write, you just, yeah, you go to Kenya and start buying different drugs. No. So they needed, or they started hiring doctors from all over the world, people who had that qualification. And the same way I'm speaking to you now on this YouTube platform was the same way those individuals were now meeting patients one by one. They're meeting them on Zoom. So you have a particular symptoms you are seeing, you top it on that. It's, some of them were apps, some of them were websites, or you need to see a doctor, and then they provide you a doctor available from any part of the world. So the doctor now takes his time, clerks you, listen to all your complaints and everything. Listen to all your complaints and everything. And then he's ready to, write you a prescription from Nigeria, somewhere in Ghana, all over the world, basically. And then, oh, this patient, I spent 10 minutes with this patient, or this patient, I spent 20 minutes with this patient. He will be paid in hours. So the number of patients he sees or number of clinic, now they are not going to just pay him as a common person. They will be paying him as a medical doctor. So we had doctors that were earning up to $150 per hour or more, say $200 per hour, depending on how high your qualification is. So let's calculate $200 now. Let's just use 400 naira. Let's use that. That's 80K per hour. So imagine you are in your room, you're a doctor, and then you're earning around 80,000 naira per hour for just clocking maybe three, four, five patients. Same thing applied with nurses. Now, nurses basically require contact and stuff. But that's not what their own case was now. It's more of filling of forms, and they had lots of those things. But the only thing company wants from you is your medical license or your professional license. Once you have it, they want to hire you because they are looking for people like that. Same thing with engineering. We have companies that are looking for civil engineers or people who are architects, and that's where it now comes into place. So if you cannot afford to get a digital skill, if your professional skill is good enough, you can also make money online. And the beautiful part of it is you'll be earning in dollars. So by the time you are converting, every time you are converting, you actually have more than an average Nigerian that is earning in Naira. And so you would actually see different people online, different influencers, this one, that one. Or you see a lot of young youths online, always on Twitter, always on one, they are catching crews, no problem. Two, they are also looking for business ideas, business opportunities, because it's not only on Upwork or Fivers that you can get job. You can get job on LinkedIn, Facebook. Twitter is a very big house. You see people looking for content writers up and down on Twitter, and then they need you to send a portfolio. Now, the big question is this. Okay, I want to learn a digital skill. You've picked it, fine. Pay, or if you are good enough to see someone who is offering to teach you for free, and you might wonder, oh boy, this guy always a shout, pay, 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 pay. Should I only some of us don't get anything, we don't get money. No wahala. As long as you have data, go to YouTube, use Google, look, there's Udemy also, Udemy. There are free courses on those platforms, YouTube, Udemy, and whatever. Those free courses are free, remember, but they will only give you, how do I call it? Small touch. or little insight on the basic things you need to know. By the time you've now acquired those basic knowledge, you know a little thing about it, use that basic knowledge to also small money and learn more from people who are ahead of you, who are professionals. You see people charging very high. Okay, yesterday you see Emmanuel Akpe. I'm not sure if I'm very correct about this surname, but let me just use Manu. He was saying different things. He has 12 multiple sources of income. He has this, he has that. And me, I was just looking at him like, oh boy, me, I'm just a student too. But this guy don't pass and I googled him up today and like wiki story and stuff. So I'm like, wow, oh boy, Nigeria. If you're just sitting down there and you think, oh, when I'm done with school, I would move to Lagos, apply. Fine, you might get jobs, but you'll be offered ridiculous jobs. You see people even that have first class that are not being paid well. While on the internet, there is no discrimination about that. You could is more of your quality of what you have in stock. And so if you are into graphics designing and then oh you are this person that helps people to design basic things, when it comes to the online world, when you know you want to meet up with people, when companies want to hire you, they would set up or you've written a proposal to them, they read through, they see okay, they think you are good enough, and then they set up a meeting with you on Zoom or any available platform they want to use, but often it's always on Zoom. And then they are interacting with you. Oh, do you use this particular app? Do you use this particular feature? And then you are lost, you are looking because you've not used or utilized the time to learn further, to dig deeper into that field you are into. If you are currently a graphics designer, don't sit down comfortably with just the common things. Oh, your friend needs is selling crayfish. You then you take picture, you edit it. There is a bigger world out there. 2D animations, 3D animations. You see all those cartoons we watch, there's a whole lot of different niches go deep, 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 way deep. And by the time you see people that call themselves 3D animators, 3D illustrators, oh fine, maybe you learned whiteboard animation. Don't sit down there. While you are making the money from whiteboard animations, move deeper and be ready to learn more. Because by the time the big catfish come, people that want to hire you come, they are not looking for the common things that you know. They're looking for the deeper things. Have you improved your skills? What are the skills you have? Okay, if you say, oh, Corel Draw, some people don't even use Corel Draw at all. They use more sophisticated apps. And then, do you know about this feature? Are you using them? Those are questions the white man would ask you. And once you are good enough, you've answered them, or you have good portfolio, you've built around it, you know, they are ready to employ you. And that's the big game out there in freelancing. And you can work with as much as two, three, four, five, six people at the same time. It's just a matter of how good you are. And so my boss is telling me it's time for question and answer. Um, okay, so if you do have questions, I think would be welcoming them now. Okay, or mute. Oh.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for the insights. Even during your sessions, we've been getting some questions, and I believe the people will like to get some answers to it. And if I'm to be right, we have just 30 minutes to go. So let's quickly jump to that now.
Okay, so let me just pick this question from Mambimbala Fagunwa. Says how do you get paid? Basically don't use PayPal. PayPal is not accepted in Nigeria. But Payona is definitely accepted in Nigeria. You can use Payona. It's accepted. Even most people use Payona. You can use that. Yeah, it's a very, very trusted and reputable platform. You can open a Payona account. I think I've answered your question. If you have questions, you can please throw them. You can throw them. I would scroll up and see if yeah you just said coding can be difficult. Yes, so coding is difficult, but as you said, WordPress isn't. There are people who actually they make money I have two websites and the guy did it for me. He doesn't code too much, but he's into WordPress and he's really, really good at it. And he also learned WordPress. So he built my two websites. And under WordPress, you have WooCommerce, you have, oh boy, if it's WordPress alone you want to learn, it's a different ball game entirely. You need to read up, you need to actually see how people are doing different things because there are different types of websites. So you need to actually build your portfolio, you need to read up, make sure you brush up your skills, and a lot of things are actually there. Okay. Um okay. Now, where can you learn the skills in Ileife? The point is, you can be in anywhere in the world and you can learn any skill. As I said, there are digital skills you get. It depends on your pockets. Hmm? My mom used to say something that it is the level of your pocket. That's how much you would enjoy a white man. Like, tó bá ṣe lówó sí, ló ṣe máa gbádùn òyìnbó sí. So, depends on your budget actually. If you don't have much, or if you don't have any, with zero, I started writing with zero capital. I had a laptop, fine. I had a laptop. Maybe I should talk about that. I had a laptop when I was starting. But I've changed the laptop even after doing that. But I started with zero capital. The only thing was just I needed data, and then I bought that, and then I started reading up what I do. I started very poor also, started quite poor. I wasn't good enough. But then that's where it has to come to. You need to keep learning and learning and learning and learning. Okay. We have a new question. What are the necessary steps to follow to land job on Upwork as a newbie? Okay, to land jobs on Upwork is quite let me tell you secret about Upwork and how to get jobs. Your proposal needs to be top notch. When your proposal is good enough, the person looks at your profile. So your proposal is just more like a resume. It directs people to your profile. So if your profile is well staged, the person now looks at, okay, let me interact with the person. So those are the two things, your proposal and your profile. So when your profile is tailored to, let's say, 3D animations, that is not when you now start bidding for jobs in writing. You get, you, whatever your profile is, that is whom you are and what you do. Don't move out of that niche because it gives you a lot of problem. Those are the things you need as a newbie. Build a quality profile and use a good proposal.
Okay, sir. We have another question here from Abdul Wahab Mustafa. How do we meet who are ready to pay for the skills? I guess he meant how do we meet people who are ready to pay for our skills? And
I,
then
no,
he said,
I think the question is how does it meet individuals who are ready to pay? Okay, okay. How do you meet people that are ready to pay for your skills? That's how I have buttressed the point before. You can meet them on LinkedIn. Try and be on social media. There is a whole lot of things available for us on social media. So move to LinkedIn, open a LinkedIn account, have Twitter accounts. Those two things are the basic places. Forget Instagram doesn't really work unless you're an influencer. But Twitter is a real ball game out there for you. You can actually make money from LinkedIn and Twitter. And if you want the freelance platform, then you move to Upwork and Fiverr. Any other questions? Okay, how can I register for Upwork? Download the app or go on the website upwork.com. You see the steps. You can actually do it yourself. And if you can't do it yourself, there are, as I said, there are guys that have done free YouTube videos on how to open Upwork accounts. You get how to open Upwork accounts, and then you can watch those videos and use it up. Now, what are some top skills that are selling? Wow. Now, this is the question. I was on my WhatsApp status. I was discussing. I think that was 2 months ago or 3 months ago about the top skills in the world. And I tell you honestly, none of us in I think I can say 90% or 95% of freelancers in Nigeria don't even touch those digital skills like at all. So you have skills like that deals with, I think there was one of Cloudflare, cloud computing, um well, those they are just into tech. The ones that pay the highest, you see them paying up to at least 200, 300, some 50, 60, $70 per hour. And that's it. Like that's how they pay you. In writing, you don't get paid up to that. But for you to learn those skills, you have to learn to pay a lot. Okay. Do I have any other question? Okay, let's take this Ade Sodun Tolulope.
I
Okay, you said
got a proposal, but still no response. What can I do?
okay. Let me tell you something. It's as I've been saying, it is actually sweet in my mouth. It happens actually. There are times you have droughts, and that's where we the professionals work with. We prefer long-term clients. You get if you are using a proposal and then it's not working, you redraft it and then you go again. But sometimes you could actually be unfortunate and you might not see for. Okay, when I started freelancing, I got my very first job within um was it 5 days? Yeah, it was a guy from Russia. I've forgotten his name right now, but he paid me $15 for the first job, and then $20 for the second job, $35. I was it looked so big then back then, like wow. But then between that first job and my second job, it took over 31 days. And I was almost giving up self. Like for 31 good days, I would send proposal, nobody was listening to me, nobody was ready to hire me. You get so sometimes it could take time actually, it could take time. But the main thing is your profile and your proposal. If your proposal is convincing enough, there are now arithmetics you can know, there are algorithms provided by the platform itself, how you can check if your proposal is converting for you. If you are using Upwork, check statistics and scroll down, check profile view, you'll be able to see that. Um, do you
Okay,
have any
let's
other
take
questions?
Emmanuel Akimoluwa. What has
Okay,
been your greatest challenges so far as a freelancer, and how do you know the ideal amount to charge per hour? I mean, a private or what, a price that won't chase away
um,
your clients.
okay. You see, all these things are actually cracking of Upwork itself. Now, charging of a client is a different ball game. You need to dig deep into the client. You need to see how much the client pays on an average, and those algorithms and those data is available on Upwork. It's just a lot of people don't even take cognizance of those things. That's one thing. Then you also need to set your standard. But before you can have a standard, you need to be somebody first on the platform. Well, my greatest challenge. Do I have a challenge on Upwork? Um, I think of my greatest challenge as a freelancer. Currently, I can't think of one. I can't think of what my greatest challenge has been, aside the fact that I don't have enough time to. I work with a team. You get, I work with a team, so we are very, very busy. We are students, and often pharmacy is draining us. So that should be my challenge with freelancing. I don't have enough time for it. Okay, for copywriting, I've noticed
Okay,
that there are a
another
lot of
question
paid
from
classes to learn. Yeah, Bola Stella, I'm already reading it. How does a person mentorship comes to copywriting? I was discussing with a very close friend of mine, and we are just laughing at. Okay, there was this time, there was this surge of copywriting up and down, and then you see people creating WhatsApp channels, WhatsApp group, come and learn copywriting for 2,000, for 3,000, 5,000. And then a lot of people paid, and by the time they were coming out of it, they were pretty much not improved or anything. Now, copywriting is one of the biggest fields in Nigeria, one of the most lucrative in Nigeria, and it's really, really a very solid ball game. So, if you are going to look for a copywriting mentorship, I think such ones should have a good record list. You might need proof. Okay, you call yourself a copywriter. Which companies have you worked for? You get. Oh, you call yourself a copy. Look at Simon Akpe now. By the time he's telling you, oh, I did this, I did that, this is my portfolio, you're already, your jaws are down and you're ready to pay. So whoever calls himself a copywriter, it's not just that I have an ebook for you to sell, I have this, I have that. Tell me your portfolio. You are the one paying, so you have the right to what's it called? Ask questions. It's just everything should be in the portfolio. You should be able to Google them and check them up. If you Google my name now, you see my name on Google, and then you see stuffs about me. So you should be able to Google people like that. And let me take another question. I think you get my point already. I noticed something about Upwork. Most times they only offer jobs to people that have reviews. I never bought review. I've never bought review all my life, and I've done over 83 jobs on Upwork. And so I don't think review is well. It happens. It works though. It works. It works. I'm telling you because I recommend people to buy review. But personally, I didn't buy any review when I started. I started last year March, so things have actually changed a little bit. But you can still crack it without buying. You can crack Upwork without buying reviews. It's possible if you don't have the money to afford them. But reviews make it faster. It creates an identity that this person has actually done something before on this platform. But there are still individuals that are ready to take people that have zero jobs. But the point is, are you ready to stoop so low? Because people who are looking for, there are people that are like, let me call them catfishes. They are looking for you that you are very, very low. You get, I'll give you, okay, I'll use 1 minute and explain my story about that. When I was starting, I met this particular guy, he's an Indian. And then, because I was just starting profile Nigeria, it was quite difficult. And he told me that he had 100 articles for me, and then each article be 1,000 words. You can multiply together, and then he offered, can't remember how much he offered then, maybe $100 or so. Like it was very, very, very low. Like very, very, oh boy, it was like lowest of the lowest. It was going to use me, but I was ready to be used because I needed my profile to be. So I made a deal with him that for every 10 article I send, create a new job each time. So by the time we're done with the 100 articles, I had already done 10 jobs. You get, so the thing added to my profile 10 jobs instead of just one. And it helped me because whenever someone is coming to my profile, it says, oh, this person has done 10 extra jobs. But meanwhile, not just one client, I do the whole 10 jobs. So sometimes, people will offer you ridiculous prices when you're starting, very ridiculous. But it depends on you. When you're ready to climb that, you take those jobs if you are not the one that is proud. Let me take another question, please. Any other question? Okay, so I think we're done
Okay,
with our question.
if you have questions, please bring it up now. We have just 15 minutes to go and we'll be moving to the second session. So if you have question, please raise it. It does not have to be about only Upwork. You can ask
It doesn't
questions
have to be about Upwork, it could be about freelancing,
anything freelancing, even if it is
or it could be general questions. Anything.
Fiverr, LinkedIn, any platform. So if it's about freelancing, Mr. Fiyin will give answer to your question. But then, Mr. Fiyin,
Yeah,
thank God that I could please approach you directly. You said that you may started Upwork, I think March last year, sir,
yeah, March last year.
and then you've earned forty
Before
thousand dollars.
COVID happened.
Well, if
Yeah,
not like
so
myself and my team members have to go down to your profile to confirm if you notice that we not even get that from you, we got it directly from the platform. I will not have believed that. And that's really
you know,
surprising. And then when we were trying to make research for the presentation, we stumbled on it and we are really wowed. So is that something an act that nobody can teach, or you just think you are only fortunate to have gotten that, or there's something attainable even for
okay. You see,
anybody?
it's more of cracking Upwork and understanding the right things to do. You get on my WhatsApp status. Sometimes I offer free advice about what people should do and what people are doing wrong. Sometimes I ask for money. I said I ask for money. I offer courses in which people pay for. You get, but okay, I have a particular senior colleague. He has earned over $50,000 on Upwork. I have a person I just met. He had to message me actually. Now the colleague I mentioned is a Nigerian. He uses Nigerian account. The other guy I messaged also. I don't even know his name. Oh. Ink. I've forgotten his name, but I met him through my mentor, and then that guy has earned over $80,000. But I think he has been on Upwork for
$80,000.
2 years.
Wow.
Yes, he has earned. Coming. There's this particular guy I've been stalking on Upwork. He has earned over $100,000 on Upwork, and he's in
If
Nigeria.
you
He
can
stays.
share me the link,
He
I
stays in
will put
Lekki.
it in.
I'm coming. Let me look for. Let me. I would. I think I would like to share the screen self for people who are available here. Um, I tell you, I mean, say I dey stalk the guy. Guy na beast. Mhm. Guy
But
has
wait,
earned.
let me quickly do the mathematics. $40,000 times, let's just say 400 naira to be lenient, or 500 naira to at least not it ourselves.
Guy, don't do mathematics. That money don't finish. I
Send
dey very
location,
serious.
bro. Send
I dey very
location.
I dey very
Send
serious.
location.
That money na scam. I dey serious because it's not as if you are earning it once. Shey you get. It's not as if you are earning it once. So it's over time now, and then I don't work alone. I work with a big team. So you pay people, you pay them. Come on. It's a long story actually, sha, but then don't be carried away by that. It's just figure.
All
Come,
right.
let me.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
we have
much.
other questions. I'm still taking them.
Okay. We should have a question here. Let me see. In freelancing, do you think it's advisable to outsource the jobs? That's from Crane Dollar Crane.
Okay, yeah, that's the word. Now, okay, let me see if I can share screen. Um, okay, yeah, I think right. Yeah, can you see my screen now? How far? If you see the screen,
Yeah, they will be able to see it now, sir.
okay. So I think you can see. Now, this is a guy that's earned over 300,000 on Upwork. Well, US with this. Let me show you Nigerians so that you would know that people are actually beasts of no nation, and then they are making money. Okay, I just picked writing alone. Let me pick amount and over $10,000. Yeah, minimum of $10,000. Now, look at this guy now. Jamu. I think this guy stays in Oyo. Okay, Lagos. It's not this one. But Jamu has earned over $60,000. This is what he's into: technical writing, data, Python, all these ones. That's what he's doing. Um, come on. Yeah, this is the guy. I've been stalking him for a while. Esogene, this is what he does, and he has earned. Look at how much he has earned. Over $100,000. So if you convert that $100,000 now to Naira, that's over how much? Over 50 million. Sha. Guy sha dey stay lucky oh. Na the cocoa thing about the guy be that. So welcome back. So they're actually guys who they are
Okay.
guys that are making high money.
Okay, let's take this question from Efe. Sorry if I got this pronouncing your name wrong. Efe Akpo Basa. Oh, jeez. Is it possible to use two skills on one Upwork account, like
Yes,
content writing and data analysis?
yes, very,
Okay,
very
you
possible.
got me. That's your question.
It's very, very possible. And then that's why Upwork has created something referred to as specialized profiles. So you can have two different specialized profiles and they could be different.
We have a question from Ademola Amzat. It is understood that quality knowledge requires to be paid for. Can you tell, as a professional writer, how much it costs to, on the average to get better at writing? One that would sell, sir, with question mark.
Okay. Let me go back and talk about something before I answer this question. Someone was asking about outsourcing of job. Yes, I believe in outsourcing. So yeah, I'm a student. I'm a 300 level student, so I believe solely in outsourcing. I outsource all my jobs. But the point is, or the thing about me outsourcing all my jobs is I outsource them to people I know. I don't work with people I don't know. don't like working with people I don't know. So my guys that we all work together, we all started from the bottom, like we all started from, and so we all trained ourselves, and each one of them is actually a good already in writing now. And I tell you, those guys are even far, far better than me. I mean, I'm just like mouthpiece for all of them. That's why I said that money you are seeing self, it's just calm. It's not kidding. Now back to this professional writing. It takes time. You get you can actually pay. The W3 that we offer is quite on. Is on right now. The people are already paying for the services. Writing without walls. There's a December. I think January. It would start in January, but I think the fee is 75,000 naira. You learn a digital skill. Now, calm down. You learn a digital skill and you learn freelancing together. Now, learning freelancing is different from learning a digital skill, and people mix it up. Learning freelancing is learning how to navigate on Upwork or on Fiverr, how to crack and how to deal with whites, how to undo different things. That is freelancing aspect. But the other one is the what's it called? Digital skill. So it's possible for you to have a digital skill and still be lost on the platform, not getting the right things. You are writing proposals, you are doing this, you are doing that, people are not hiring you. So there are two different things. So that's what the school or the academy takes care of. It teaches you freelancing and it teaches you a digital skill also. Anyone you would pick. Any other questions? And
Uh,
what's
at
learning new skill?
at what stage of learning a new skill can one start to market the skill
Okay,
online?
Simon Gabriel, Yorùbá used to say that tí ṣógun ẹni bá dá nìyẹn fi máa ń gbárí ni or something like that. You get it's best you actually learn first. Learn that skill first. At least get the basics and everything. You can start marketing at any level. You get. But one thing is this, and this is what people don't get. Chase quality. Money will come after it. Don't chase money first. If you learn a digital skill today, or you learn any skill whatsoever, and you maybe you paid the class, the money you paid for that class is 100,000 naira, and within the next 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, you want to make that 100,000 naira back, you might have issues. So when you learn a digital skill, you actually need to calm down and chase quality. Let me use an example of graphics design. When you use graphics design, when you learn graphics designing, maybe Corel Draw or what's the other app they use, you've learned it, you've started to learn and everything. The first design you make can never be like the number 100th design that you would make. Same thing with writing. The very first article I wrote was shit. Looking at it back now. But now, we've written over 4,000 articles. Like me and my team, we've written a lot. And we can look back and laugh at our very first one. The money we charge for article 5,000, or the money we will charge a year and 6 months after we started, is not the same amount we charged when we started. You get. So when you've learned a new skill, please and please don't charge people too much. Don't be in a haste to make the whole money you know you've spent while learning back in a week or two. If your standard rate is 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, because you are just starting, collect 1K, collect 2K. It has a reason, and this is the reason. It gives you people coming to you. In the process, you use their job to learn. If you mess up that work, they will shout, but they go reason am. Eluna Muson, 2K, 3K, I beg. You get. So during that process, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months after you've learned your digital skill, your price range will still be reasonable for people until you've now built a portfolio that can stand, and then you start billing them back. But once you lack that quality, if you learn a skill today, you want to be collecting the same money your mentor is collecting, or you want to be collecting the same money because that's the standard rate of the market, you would easily crash out. So any skill you learn, look for people. I do this. So when I started now, I made this flyer. I sent it to my class page. I sent it to my faculty page. Different things. I dey write to. I'm a writer. Oh. People should, people were just laughing. Then people were saying different things. I think I was in Patrick then now last year. Someone messaged me and said, "Shame I can write Zoom notes because I said I was into writing." I was just laughing. Like someone said, "Can I write lab notes and stuff like that?" But that was not what I was into. And how much were we earning then? We were earning 1 naira per word. Yeah, 1 naira per word, 1 naira per word, 1 naira per word. Today I will not even collect naira from you. I'll tell you I charge in dollars. But we wrote articles, series of articles that was 1 naira. If we saw people that we even paid 2 naira, 2 naira more, 1.5, we're very grateful for it. But I see people that are into writing and then they are just starting and they are telling you they earn 3 naira, 4 naira. Okay. And then you give them work because they are beginners, they mess it up. But you get angry with them because they are charging too high. You get so when you are just starting, reduce that money you want to. Don't be in the haste, chase quality. Don't be chasing that. I want to improve myself, I want to develop myself. By the time you are doing that, it could take 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months. You now have a portfolio, you have a big base, you are becoming solid enough. You can just have one client that will pay you all the work you've been doing for 6 months. You get okay, I'm using the phone I was using before this one was iPhone 11. So it was just one client that paid me that money, $900. Yeah, paid me $900, and then I took out of it to buy the iPhone 11. But it was before that person could even look up at me and say, I want to hire you. He saw something. You cannot just see small small contracts like when you are starting, do those small contracts, do those dirty jobs. No worry, the money will still come after when you have that quality. And when you are talking to someone, you're interacting with someone, and you're telling the person, I've written this, I've written this, I've written that. Can I see samples? You are sending him those samples. They are coming in. You get by the time your article one, I'm more of a writer, so your article one will be different from your article two. Three will be more improved. Four, I have a friend, very good writer. He's my boss safe already. Pyro, Tomiwa, Jimbo. Those guys, if they write articles for you, they don't nobody makes complaints about them. Nobody, because they are the best already.
All right, thank you very much. Wow,
Yeah, but
2 minutes.
when they started, we all hand very already.
All right, sir.
How
Thank
do
you very
you
much for the session. Let's take this particular last question and then we will call it a night. So, this is from Ibrahim
okay?
Salisu. Sir, you said you have a team. How do you and your team members join hands in doing your work? Sir, is it possible to work as a team on Upwork, Fiverr, and the likes?
Yeah, it's possible. You could actually create an agency yourself, but starting from zero agency is quite difficult. So basically, I have my own Upwork account, and then I get jobs. I give them. I get jobs. They also now, at least all of them, yeah, have their own Upwork accounts. Also, they get jobs and they do it themselves. You get the team is just more of like is we're just together and we are not together, something like that. But then we're all friends, so that's how we work. But we started all together from the scratch. Yeah, I think I've answered the question.
Okay, thank you very much. So, other than that, please, if you have a question, you can drop it. And also on the screen at the moment is Mr. Fiyin's phone number. So you have to contact him. Please just reach him. We'll be switching to the next session very soon. So, pardon me.
Fiyin Ebemidayo is a certified writer and freelancer. He's also a freelance coach and instructor. Is a top-rated plus freelancer on Upwork. He also trains and teaches individuals that find it hard to navigate their way on the platform called Upwork. Is the author of the following books: 25 Online Profitable Businesses and a Step-by-Step Guide on How to Start Them. He has over 2,000 published articles in various niches. Fiyin Ebemidayo also works part-time as W3A Walk Without Wall Academy, an academy that assists individuals to learn various digital skills, of which he is the facilitator of the writing skill. Fiyin has assisted over 200 individuals to become writers. He has also helped several individuals on Upwork and to become better freelancers. He has earned over $40,000 on Upwork. He owns two websites, bremenconsolidate.com and bremenbooks.com. Fiyin currently works with Nebula Genomics in California. He is also a prime writer for lobbyfitness.com, healthline.com, migrantbody.com, Quora, madisonreserve.com, indiandermat.com, and many more.